Audio Jungle.
Yo, ho, ho, Bills Mafia and other fan bases. Thank you so much for joining me today during my Monday through Friday daily stream. Right now, it's the off season, so my biggest goal is just to make it go by as fast as humanly possible. Now, let's just get right down to business. The off season, for the most part, as far as free agency, as far as the NFL draft is complete. And for the most part, the majority of teams are getting into training camp. And now the biggest goal is going to be, hey, let's get these rosters down to the final 53. So, me being me, I'm not going to predict exactly what every single 53-man roster is going to look like. I am looking far ahead, way too far ahead. And that just so happens to be to the AFC playoff picture. I do plan on doing this for the NFC as well here within a couple of days. But since I am very familiar with the AFC and what they have done right to my Buffalo Bills, our competition, we're just going to dive right into this. And then I am going to accurately predict the specific seedings of the AFC playoff picture. Now, say, for example, you're not familiar with Tier Maker. This is one of my favorite sites just to help you out with any sort of boredom that you might very well have. Right as you can see, I have a Tier Maker with the 7 seeds off to the right and then each and every single NFL logo. And we are going to go through each and every single one of them together. Okay, I figured we might as well just start off from bottom to up, and let's just see exactly where we end up, ladies and gentlemen. The 7th seed. Now, these wild card spots, especially during the beginning of the season, there's always a favorite division, right? There's always a favorite division. Last year was the AFC West. That did not really pan out. Not going to lie to you. That did not really pan out. They thought the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs were going to make the playoffs. Some even said the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs at all in general. This year, it's going to be the AFC East. You've heard me say this before. I genuinely believe that the AFC East is going to have 3 representatives going into the playoffs. And one of those teams just so happens to secure the 7th seed. And that, you guessed it, is the Miami Dolphins. So I have the Dolphins being at this spot. And guys, listen, you know that I absolutely despise the Dolphins. Their fan base absolutely comes after me on the AFC East roundtable on a regular basis. But they're a good team, and they got better. They really got better, especially on defense. While Vic Fangio wasn't the best head coach on the face of the planet, you can't take away from the fact that he is one of the best defensive coordinators that the league has to offer. From there, you still have Javon Holland coming back, who had an amazing year last year. And as long as he stays healthy, I feel like he's going to build on that. The addition of Jalen Ramsey, while the Buffalo Bills have had success against Jalen Ramsey, specifically Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen going into it, that makes their overall defense that much better. Same thing with their defensive line. It's going to be very difficult for teams to score on this defense. I will die on that absolute hill. Now, I will go off on a limb, and I will say that they are going to live and die by Tua. They are going to live and die by Tua going into the playoffs this year. And it blows my mind because if their top priority is to make sure that their quarterback stays healthy, why the absolute hell did they not invest in their offensive line at all? Not a single notable offensive lineman addition this offseason in free agency. In the draft, I think they picked up a guard in the late rounds. They're legitimately just relying on a new offensive line coach to hope that the personnel that they have in place from last year is just going to miraculously be better, right? And then with Tua, can he stay healthy? But with that being said, I have the Miami Dolphins securing that 7th seed into the playoffs, and let's move on. So the coveted 6th seed. Now, don't get me wrong, this entire conference is absolutely stacked. There's going to be a lot. In fact, I will even go out on a limb and say that there will be 2 double-digit teams that do not make the playoffs this year in the AFC. this was very difficult for me to get the 6th seed right here and there. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I am going to say that the Baltimore Ravens will take the 6th seed and make it into the playoffs. Now, I feel like that a lot of people have slept on Lamar. They've slept on that offense. They've slept on that defense, but they paid their guy. They paid Lamar Jackson a lot of money. There's absolutely no question about that. And they loaded up some weapons for the guy, right? Zay Flowers, rookie, have OBJ say that he could actually play an entire season. That would be absolutely miraculous. It definitely would be miraculous, but who knows? Still have Rashad Bateman, have Isaiah Likely, tight end out of Coastal Carolina University, my alma mater, by the way. Shameless plug. I have a feeling that this offense is about to do very, very well. Their run game is typically still incredible with Lamar behind the helm. Running backs are great. Their defense is never to be slept on. I mean, that's like one of the best defensively coached teams in the NFL. And while I don't see them winning the division, which I don't want to give you a spoiler alert, but I feel like that everybody should know who it's going to be out of that division. I have the Ravens getting into the 6th seed of the playoffs. And I mean, you can't disrespect them. You really can't. I mean, they almost beat the Cincinnati Bengals with a backup quarterback. It was a very boring game. Say, for example, that Huntley didn't fumble on the goal line and it was returned for some absolutely crazy ass play, then I think the Bills could have very well played the Ravens that following round. So I think the Ravens got better. I feel like everyone's sleeping on these guys, but I do see them squeaking into the playoffs, securing the 6th seed. 5th seed, you probably already know who I'm about to pick. I already gave a bit of a spoiler alert at the beginning of this video, but I do have the New York Jets taking the 5th seed, the top seed in the wild card. It's the Jets, baby. It's the Jets. I know my buddy Richie is about to be absolutely hysterical, although I admitted it last night on the AFC East roundtable. This team just put the cherry on top of their organization. This is going to be very, very interesting, in my opinion. They're coming back with one of the youngest, most talented defenses on the face of the planet. You add a Will McDonald to an already absolutely dominant defensive line that can really get to the quarterback. And then you're also getting the return of Breece Hall, Michael Carter in the backfield. You have 2 receivers that Aaron Rodgers is very familiar with, so chemistry is already there. And they can go on ahead and serve as mentors to the younger guys like Mims and then also Garrett Wilson. And then, of course, you have one of the best throwers of the football on the face of the planet being on this team. I hate when I hear people say that Aaron Rodgers is washed. I really do. It's hard for anybody to go out there and confidently say, yo, some dude that just won 2 out of the last 3 MVPs is washed. Not at all. This automatically makes this team a hell of a lot better. It was the missing piece. And I will be honest with you, I'm looking over their roster right now, and I don't really see many holes. I really don't see many holes. So for that reason alone, I do have to put the New York Jets as the 5th seed of the playoffs. So far, we have the 7th seed secured by the Dolphins, 6th seed by the Ravens, and the 5th seed by the New York Jets. Now, right before we end up getting into the division winners, seeds 4 through 1, need to give a giant shout out to this live stream's sponsor, and that just so happens to be the Manta sleep mask. Now, listen, normally right before I found this, I thought that my girlfriend was the only one that would ever wear anything like this. But let me tell you what, REM sleep is hands down the number one reason why anybody is any sort of productive at all. That's just how it is, okay? I have always had a difficult time getting very, very deep sleep because I'm tossing and turning. I'm thinking a lot, like there's like some light down the road. Literally put this thing on. It's so comfortable. It's absolutely blackout once you put these on. And I have been getting incredible naps, incredible sleep, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's an incredible investment. If you want to invest on your sleep, check out the links that are in my description right now, and you're going to get a 10% off on your first order. This is the Manta Mask Pro. I love this thing, so definitely go on ahead and check that out. Great company. Anyway, let's get back to it. So for those of you just joining us, we are going through the AFC playoff seeding, where they stand today, based off of my best educated guess. Obviously, some of these teams could suffer some serious injuries, some absolute serious injuries, but we really don't know what's going to happen. This is me thinking that all of these teams should play at their highest ceiling. 7th seed is the Dolphins, 6th seed is the Baltimore Ravens, and the 5th seed is the New York Jets. So now it comes down into the division winners. Okay, this might be a little interesting. I think a lot of people might be upset with this, or maybe you agree with me. I don't even know. But for the fourth seed of the AFC playoff picture, I have the Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars. It was not enough last year when we witnessed the Jacksonville Jaguars legitimately pull off one of the craziest comebacks in playoff history. I was this close to turning off the television when the Chargers were just absolutely backhanding this team into oblivion. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence threw 3-4 interceptions in the first half. He was really going after that Nathan Peterman record. He really was. But they buckled down, and this team got better over the offseason as well. You have Calvin Ridley coming back. Yes, this particular dude, he is not or rather, he hasn't played football in 2 years, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, is he still going to have it? But he's also had that time to go on ahead and still heal and go through with that. I have a feeling that this division is going to be absolutely dominated by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I mean, honestly, who can blame me for this? I mean, look at all of the other teams that are in this division right now. You have the Tennessee Titans. Who the hell knows who their quarterback is going to be? Could be Levis, could be Tannehill, could be Malik. We have no idea. They have a huge quarterback issue over in Tennessee. I see them being very, very mid. The Houston Texans, yes, so excited they got CJ Stroud. Great. So excited that they ended up grabbing as many draft picks as possible. New head coach. I love the story. I love the beginning of their climb into relevancy once again. But I will go out on a limb and I will say that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to dominate that entire division. Same thing with the Colts. I mean, great with Anthony Richardson. Whether or not that it's going to be Gardner Minshew starting, who knows? Healthy Jonathan Taylor, whatever. I just don't see anybody beating the Jacksonville Jaguars and securing that 4th seed going into it. It's just essentially how I am looking at how all of this is going through. So, 4th seed, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the 3rd seed, Bills fans, don't kill me. Don't kill me, okay? But I see this playoff picture being very competitive, but I am putting the Buffalo Bills at the 3rd seed right now. I am putting the Buffalo Bills at the 3rd seed of the AFC playoff picture. Not because I think the two teams that are above us are going to be better, but I will tell you, when I look at the AFC East, we hands down have the hardest opponents that anybody could ask for, specifically the Buffalo Bills, because we're playing the NFC East, great division. As much as everyone loves absolutely shitting on the Cowboys, great team. The Eagles were just in the Super Bowl. They absolutely revamped their defensive line with youth. The Commanders, they're probably the worst team out of that division, but and then the Giants, who we're going to be going up against Brian Dable, who I'm sure is salivating at an opportunity to beating the team that he came from. I feel like that is just an ego thing at the end of the day. And then afterwards, that's the AFC West. So now we have to talk about the Chargers, who are hit and miss. The Chiefs, obviously, are absolute rival when it comes into the regular season, into whatever. We have the Broncos, who I think that Sean Payton is really going to turn around Russell Wilson and that offense in general. And yeah, dude. And the Raiders. So both of those divisions for the AFC East is going to be tough. And then on top of that, we also need to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, since that was just the one team out of the division that also finished in first place. So we have a very difficult schedule. I still think that we're a 12, 13-win team. Don't get me wrong. Definitely don't get me wrong. But the reason I put the Bills so low is because of the fact that we have a very difficult schedule going into it. If we win the Super Bowl next year, no. When we win the Super Bowl next year, it's going to be a hard-fought battle. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, and nobody's going to be able to give any sort of excuse that the Buffalo Bills didn't earn it. Because let me tell you what, y'all, this is going to be a fight. This is not going to be an easy battle. It's really, really not. So right now we have the Bills, the 3rd seed. They are the division winners of the AFC East. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the division winners of the AFC South. And then the Jets, the Ravens, and the Miami Dolphins, they are all the wild card representation for the AFC. So now it comes down into the 2nd seed of the playoffs. And I'm sure you guessed this. No, actually, no, you didn't. I'm putting the Kansas City Chiefs right here. I am putting the Kansas City Chiefs in this because with the exact same mentality that I just gave you about the Buffalo Bills, their schedule is also going to be a little tough. The AFC West is going to be difficult. Yes, they are the only team that is representing the playoffs in this image, but they are still going to be a pretty good team. They are built, they are drafted, they are literally brought to the drawing board to defeat all the other teams in the AFC West. And the Chiefs have to play every single team in the AFC East, every single one of them. Right now, like when it comes down into the Chiefs, like they lost huge pieces right in their offensive line. And then right now, as far as receivers are concerned, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes will make them better, but they're literally trying to go on ahead and put a rookie into what Juju was, right? They still have Travis Kelce, which is, a great safety blanket, but their schedule is very difficult as well. And it's because of the AFC East going into it. And they're going to be playing all of the other first seeds as well. I forget who else is on their schedule, but they have a very difficult schedule. I really, really do. I have the Kansas City Chiefs securing that 2nd seed. Still going to be a threat. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that is going to happen. And then finally, last but not least, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. Cincinnati Bengals will win and have the best record in football, AFC North Division champions. And I think that they're going to pick up exactly where they left off. With T. Higgins is back. Everybody thought that he was going to be gone. They thought that he was going to be traded due to money. Nope, he's still there. Still have Jamar Chase. Great receivers. Who knows about Joe Mixon, whether or not that he's in jail for, I forgot what he did. I think he pulled a gun out on a 12-year-old or something like that, or he smacked a waitress. Who knows? So who knows whether or not that the NFL is going to discipline him. But still a great defense. I know that they lost their safeties, which is very difficult as well. But I still see Burrow going out there as long as he can stay healthy. With that addition of Orlando Brown Jr., which is huge for their offensive line too. I see the Bengals being the 1st seed into this. I really, really do. So there you have it. Baby. We have the Dolphins at the 7th seed. We have the Baltimore Ravens as the 6th seed of the playoffs this year. We have the Jets as the 5th seed of the playoffs. Number 4, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, AFC South Division champions. We have the Buffalo Bills, our beloved Buffalo Bills, the AFC East champions, 3rd seed. If this were to play out, we play the Ravens in the first round of the playoffs. I'd like our chances there. Then the Chiefs in the 2nd seed and the Bengals in the 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I sincerely appreciate you joining me today for my weekly Monday through Friday live stream during the day. I enjoy doing this. So say, for example, that you enjoy these weekly live streams, daily live streams Monday through Friday. Make sure you turn on your notifications to know exactly when I'm coming on. As many of you know, I have been really pushing out a lot of content going through with it, and I want to be able to give you a live show that you can interact with. Now, as far as content is concerned, from now on, when it comes to my live shows, it's exclusively going to be a live show. So I'm still going to have an exclusive live stream, which is Q&A, where I will go into the live chat, and that show will be precisely about you. So every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST, I will have my weekly Q&A live stream, and I really hope that all of you are able to join because I love interacting with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of Dom Mafia Live, and we'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.